video demonstration, I'm going to show you a way to use the new vintage leaves from the John Next Door Christmas 22 collection to make a beautiful card. And in this die set, you get the beautiful outside tracing line as well as the inside solid. So if I bring one of the leaves in I've made here, you can see you get this beautiful sort of 3D holly if you use it that way. There's so many different techniques that you can do with this. So to put this together, I've taken a piece of just normal white card and I've sprayed this with the Craft Artist sprays in the 2 shades of green. So in the field, and I think it's the verdant or the jade. So in the field and the jade, and you get that beautiful shimmer and shine. So what I'm going to do is cut all of the dies. I'm just going to show you 3 to start with of the largest in this card. So these are the solid outside lines, so we'll just simply cut those. And then in a dark green card, this is a Christmas green linen card, you would cut all of the dies that match for the outside lines. So I think there's 7 of each. So I'll pop those down, stick those, and we'll cut those out. Now I've already cut them out to speed this up slightly. So you can see here, I've got them with their matching sort of tops. So you can glue these with glue glaze or something like that. Or what I'm going to do is to use some spray glue. So I'm just going to turn each of those over. And these would look beautiful done in your gilding flakes, in your sort of fire and ice technique. There's so many different techniques you can use for this. You can pipe glue into them, glitter them, all sorts of things. So we're just going to give those a light spray with our spray glue. I'm using Craft Mount by 3M. And we then simply match them up. So this is always the challenge, to get them matched up right. Let's find the right, I know I've got the right one for each one. There we go. So right, no, it's not that one. It is that one. So just place them on top and they'll fit exactly. What you'll find is one corner, because these are hand drawn, has a longer piece. So if you find that one, it's a lot easier to stick them on once you've found that piece there. So just move those up. Here we go. So again, there's that longer stripe. And there it is on there. So we just match those together and place them down. They don't have to sit on, they will sit on top absolutely perfectly, but you don't have to sit them on exactly spot on. You know, these are to look quite natural. And here we go, we'll pop the last one on. So you do this for all sort of 7 or 8 of them. Get them in the right places. I've not done that one right. There we go. You find there's only one way they fit, so it's quite easy to do. So all I'm then going to do is just simply fold them in half along the fold line. You can move them and shape them and make them different sort of shapes if you want to. So I'm just folding these in half. All of them relatively easy. If you struggle with that, just take a pair of tweezers along the center line and fold them along, give you a more definitive fold, and is easier if you have dexterity issues. They work fantastically with the hellebore and the amaryllis and all the flowers we've done this year. So let's pop all of these down, because I've made quite a few. I've done sort of 2 full sets here, and I've just made a card blank using coconut white and the Christmas green card, and I've embossed this with embossing folders. If they're not out when you're watching this, they will be out quite soon. And I'm just going to use pin flare glue gel and a cocktail stick, and I'm going to start with a little bit of that on the back, and we're just going to almost build ourselves a little wreath using the larger leaves. So I'm following round. I'm not making sure they're going, I don't want them all in the same direction each time, if that makes sense. So I'm not using the same side every time. And I find it a lot easier to have a pre-cut circle, or you could use a circle that you've got mounted up. And we're putting them all in the same sort of direction. And then I'm simply going to take the next size down and almost fill in those gaps. So I'm not keeping to a set schedule of sort of as we'd normally do, north, south, east and west, and then filling the gaps in. I want it to have a relative level of almost randomness. So don't try and get them all, you know, beautifully swept around. That's up to you if you want to do that. But I like the idea of them being slightly different orientations. So just going round and filling in the gaps in between. And then anywhere that you see that you think you've got a larger gap, you can fill it in, moving perhaps in slightly different directions. I'm seeing here. And then I'm going to take the smaller leaves and start to just add those in. Again, keeping them going in almost different orientations. This is a great way, sometimes you find it easier to kind of move the circle or move the card around. This is a great way to sort of almost cover where you've got if the glue is showing or something. So we're just working it around and trying to make it look a little bit more realistic. Adding glue each time. And so I think that one looks a little bit flat there, so I can lift that one up and add another one in there. And just keep going around. Add as many or as few as you want to. As I said, on top and behind. Wherever you think there's a little gap. And that's why the sort of glue gel, and you can use the pin flare glue gel or Collal do a beautiful one. Something like this. Or you could use foam pads if you want to. Just pop a foam pad on the back of each individual little leaf. So we're back to sort of the beginning again. So I think there's a little gap there which I'll fill, and there's a little gap there. So I'm just continuing until I get really a nice sort of filled but relatively random wreath. So you can see there I've got all that beautiful sort of 3D wreath look. So next in the die set we have the berries. These come in two sizes and two styles. One is a collection of 3, and then one is individual berries. And so if we cut those out, what you'll get is you'll get these little sort of collections of 3, which I'm going to pop down. I've just cut sort of 2 of each, I think it is. So we'll pop these little 2 of each down. And I'm not looking to say, oh, right, well, you know, where is the best, where would they be joining, where would those be? I'm just adding them relatively evenly to give me quite a nice sort of makeup of them. There we go. So we'll just pop that one in there, I think. And then you can use the individual berries, and you can add little individuals on, or you can add little individuals on top of the little collections. So where I've got a little collection of 3, I can just add a little berry on top just to make it look. And I'm just grabbing a little bit of glue gel. Can use your normal craft artist glue, works perfectly for this. taking a little bit of glue gel, picking up a berry, potting it on the end of my cocktail stick, and then just dropping it in wherever I think. I've just noticed there I've got a big gap, and luckily I've got a spare leaf. So just do a couple more. Really simple. I think there needs to be one there. And there probably needs to be one. Oh, I think they're definitely where those ones are meeting. So there we have our beautiful sort of holly wreath with our berries going on, and I can keep adding berries onto that quite simply to make it together. And I would take a little sentiment, put it in the middle, or what I've got here is just a little collection of the jingle bells from Crafts 2 on a little bow, and I'm just going to add that on in one section. So there we have our beautiful wreath made of the vintage holly, and I put a little sentiment in the middle and we're finished.